Meteor Golems are easily the best troop in the entire game, so let's break down the army and how it works before giving you a full example of the army to help you 3-star any base. With this attack, it's broken up into 3 parts: the Warden Walk and Fireball Funnel, the King and Queen Funnel, and the Meteor Golem Smash. On screen is a visual representation of the troops, spells, and heroes needed for each part of the attack strategy. However, consider using my creator code CorruptYT to support me and the channel. First things first, we want to start with the Fireball and Warden Walk to set up pathing for our Meteor Golems. Now, I've done a Fireball guide if you want to check that video out at the end of this one, but to briefly go over the key points, you want to use the Fireball in this strategy to clear a funnel. So oftentimes you do not need to target one specific building and rather set up a funnel easily for your smash. However, it is much easier to do so when you notice spell towers, mainly rage and invisibility spell towers. These compartments are prime targets for the Fireball due to a bunch of key defenses usually being around those spell towers. Other than those 2 spell towers, you can also remove threats like the enemy CC or even the Revenge Tower, which can actually get you increased value since they're pretty annoying to deal with. Now, regardless of the way that you're using the Fireball, you are using 4 invisibility spells and 2 earthquake spells. You obviously have the choice of either starting with a quick Fireball with invisibility spells placed before the Warden is dropped, or you can do a short Warden Walk to set up a bit of funneling and allow him to get the Fireball in more reliably. If you do decide on using the quick Fireball, be sure to scout for Teslas with a balloon or barbarian to make sure that the Tesla doesn't counter your Fireball or counter your Warden if you're too slow. Additionally, if you're using the Warden Walk, be sure to bring an Ice Block spell. This can keep your Warden from moving, which can allow you to safely get the Fireball into the base without worrying about him dying thanks to the Ice Block spell's 94% damage reduction. You can also bring in a few Furnaces to speed up the Warden Walk while also distracting defenses that might be ahead of him. With a funnel set from the Warden Walk and Fireball, you can lure him over with the Meteor Golems, but just be aware that he can split away from them sometimes if they are throwing each other at buildings. Now, as the Meteor Golems slowly move in, we have the Archer Queen and Barbarian King being used to set up funneling. This is mainly due to the Meteor Golems being able to bypass walls by throwing themselves at nearby buildings. So using the Barbarian King with his Spiky Ball and Snake Bracelet combo allows him to have a ridiculously high amount of HP along with snake spawns to tank for him and vice versa. It also helps tank for the Archer Queen, who wants the action figure and magic mirror for increased DPS and survivability while helping the Barbarian King keep the Meteor Golems inside the base. In the off chance you need spell support, having skeleton spells to distract single target defenses like the Monolith can work in a pinch, but totem spells are quite good too, even after its upcoming nerf. However, with these 2 heroes, you will more often than not be able to set up good pathing for your Meteor Golems as they work inside the base and keep them inside the base for most of the attack. Now that the funnel is set with the Fireball, Warden Walk, and the King Queen funnel, the Meteor Golems have prime access to the inside of the base, which they don't need wall breaking for, as they throw each other to nearby buildings. As they do work in, using the troop launcher will support the push with additional balloons to scout for air traps, namely seeking air mines and red air bombs, in addition to another Meteor Golem for reinforcement. Since the Meteor Golems target anything, use this to your advantage, as they can target the Town Hall and even Guardians if you're facing them. So having a rage spell increases their damage both when thrown and when split into meteor mites. Additionally, the Overgrowth spell is mainly used to reduce damage from far-hitting defenses while also pathing the Meteor Golems accordingly, which helps keep most of your troops alive. Using this over high DPS zones like the Rage Spell Tower compartments is often ideal so you can clear surrounding defenses while keeping most of your army intact. The only other spell to use is the Totem spells, which can be used to mitigate damage and redirect damage away from your troops. While this is getting an HP decay, in the next balance change, it will still be viable due to its high HP and ability to force defenses to retarget, making this great to counter plenty plenty of defenses, including the long shot Guardian, before it can quickly attack your Meteor Golems. You also have the Royal Champion that can be used on the flanks with the Meteor Golems to help clear defenses that are distracted by their high HP, while she helps out with her Electro Boots to clear air and ground skeleton traps, but also with her Frostflake to freeze defenses, giving your troops more time to deal damage and heal back up. This is particularly good against high DPS areas like the Rage Spell Tower compartment, or high value, high damage defenses like the Revenge Tower. Either way, the Meteor Golems will be able to keep moving forward through the back end thanks to their insanely high HP and DPS, with being under the Rage Gem to boost it even further, while gaining support from the healers. As long as you can keep the Meteor Golems inside the base, they are going to absolutely smash bases with relative ease. Now that you understand how this army works, this is the army comp I recommend you use to 3-star nearly every base between Town Hall 17 and Town Hall 18 with reliable success. With that said, let's give you a visual example with a Town Hall 17 versus Town Hall 18 attack to show you how this all works so you never fail with this army. Now, with how strong Meteor Golems are, a Town Hall 17 versus Town Hall 18 is not out of the question. You do mainly want to start with the Fireball, so we're going to be using our invisibility spells early alongside the 2 Earthquake spells and the Fireball to clear out a given area. This Rage Tower compartment had the Revenge Tower, so that was an obvious, easy choice for the Fireball while creating some good pathing. Other than this, we're just going to use a very short Warden walk to set up funneling on one side, while we have our Barbarian King, Ice Golem, and Archer Queen work in to provide funneling to actually close the gap for our troops. Now, obviously, we are going to be seeing a Monolith, and if it does look onto the King, he does have the chance to die. So don't fret if he does fall. All you really need to do though is create a solid funnel. Other than that, you have your Meteor Golems working in, and the Warden can sometimes be finicky early on, but then he'll follow the rest of your troops. Other than this, the Apprentice Warden just buffs their HP up even further, while also having balloons from that troop launcher to look for seeking air mines and protect the healers. As your Meteor Golems are working in, you have that overgrowth over on the back end, while they're able to deal with something like the Guardian in the center of the base. The Royal Champion also can be used on the flanks as the Meteor Golems are working in. They're able to distract a lot of damage thanks to their high HP, while the Royal Champion just kind of works along, helps the heroes out a little bit, kind of creates a little bit more funneling. But once that overgrowth expires, that Frostflake becomes very helpful, especially against Rage Spell Tower compartments. So the Meteor Golems are going to be able to do plenty of work through there, and they're going to be able to stay relatively healed. The Grand Warden sometimes can wander and follow a different group, but for the most part, you should be able to easily clear through most of the other areas of the base, since the Meteor Golems are super tanky, they do an incredibly high amount of damage, and with enough support, you have a lot of ways to easily move through and 3-star bases at Town Hall 17, Town Hall 18, and even if you are attacking a Town Hall 18 as a Town Hall 17. Despite balance changes coming soon to the Meteor Golem and Totem spell, this army stands alone as the best army to use currently, and with how much HP and DPS the Meteor Golems have, they can be very difficult to stop if funneled correctly. If you do need more info about the Fireball, I recommend checking out this guide right here, but YouTube says you might like this one as well.